They say you haven't truly experienced the Alps until you've seen the Dolomites. And it's hard to argue that. I wanted that experience for myself, and I would get that on the Alta V1. The AV1 is a rugged point-to-point route across the Dolomite region of the Italian Alps, one of the most unique landscapes on the planet. As usual, I'd be packing light and moving fast, completing what is typically a 10-day route in just 4 days. In that time, I'd cover 82 miles and over 27,000 feet of elevation gain. And just 6 months after being hospitalized from an autoimmune condition I never knew I had, this would be a big test for me, eager to find out if I could still do the things I love to do. Challenges would be guaranteed, but the sheer beauty and epic views of this place made everything worth it. As is always the case with these adventures, this would be an experience I'll remember forever. I started my week out with a day exploring Venice. From there, I'd catch a bus up to Cortina d'Ampezzo, home to the upcoming 26 Winter Olympics. The following day, I did a few shakeout hikes to get my first glimpse of what the week ahead would hold for me. Okay, made it to Lago di Bryce, which is the official starting point of the Alta V1. So I'll be staying here at this hotel tonight, just chilling, and starting the big week ahead on the Alta Via, which starts just on the other side of this lake and goes up through that pass. Day one would be a short one. I started my day with a big climb up to altitude, where I'd continue traversing before dropping into a valley. I'd then finish the day with another big climb up to my home for the night. In total, I'd cover about 13.5 miles for the day and about 6,100 feet of elevation gain. This is hands down, bar none, the most beautiful starting location of any hike I've ever done. So it's gonna be an exciting couple days ahead. Day two was another relatively short one, but full of punchy climbs and descents. I started my morning making my way through a few of those and up to a scenic refugio for lunch. I then dropped down and crossed a valley up to the Cinque Torri, where I'd spend the night. In total, I'd cover a little over 14 miles and about 6,700 feet of elevation gain. All right, so getting a jump on day two here, leaving Refugio Fans, or Fanes, however you say it, but guys, this Refugio is kind of unparalleled in the world of mountain huts. Facilities were super clean, super modern. The food was absolutely out of this world. So if you ever get a chance, if you're ever doing the Alta Via 1, go out of your way and make it a point to stay at this Refugio. Came up from down that way, incredible views, and then I'm going to the top of that mountain to Refugio Lagazui. But I guess first things first, we got to tackle this gnarly descent. Look at this.
The hike up to Lago Zui is littered with old World War I tunnels, which made the tough climb up pretty interesting.
So I took a lunch break all the way up there at Refugio Lago Zui. Views up there were absolutely incredible. So was the food, vibes, everything 10 out of 10. And then took a long quad crushing descent down. I think it was like a 4,000 foot descent into this little town. And now we're heading up this way.
I got to my home for the night pretty early, around 2 p.m., so I had a lot of time to rest up before my big day tomorrow, and I intended to take advantage of that time. Day 3 was by far my longest of the week, and it also brought with it the most variety. To start the morning out, I had a lot of scattered climbing as I traversed across mountainsides and open land. After making it up to Refugio Cold Eye for lunch, the second half of the day had some more isolated and challenging climbs and descents, as I tried to dodge a storm in the final few hours. But the views the entire way today were insane. In total, I'd covered just under 30 miles and about 8,300 feet of elevation gain.
All right, a little after 6 a.m., getting an early jump here because I have an absolutely massive day today, a lot of ground to cover. Unfortunately, this mountain's blocking what looks to be a pretty incredible sunrise, but still a beautiful time of day. So guys, it's about 9:20 in the morning. So I've been going today for 3.5 hours, something like that. I've seen maybe 4 people all day today, which is quite different from the past 2 days. And this place is just so peaceful, so quiet. Climbs are nasty, soft underfoot, not really much of a trail, crazy steep, but beautiful, at least behind me.
Having already completed 2 full stages by lunchtime and with still another 2 to go, I had to eat quickly because I didn't have any time to lose and needed to keep moving.
Weather here seems to be taking a turn in the wrong direction. I can hear non-stop thunder, and it looks like there's a pretty good storm brewing straight ahead. So still have, I don't know, another 5 miles or so before I get to my refugio for the night, but there is one coming up here, another mile or so. I may see if we've got an extra room, because this thing looks nasty. But anyway, I've got the hard shell on in anticipation for that, but we'll see what happens. Doesn't look like I'm gonna make it to Cresciano before getting hit by that thing.
Not only was I nervous that I'd get caught in a thunderstorm, but right now in this moment, I also couldn't shake the thought that my autoimmune issue would catch up to me.
Well, update. Basileir was booked, so it looks like I'm hoofing it extra 5 miles. I think it's got a nasty climb to it. I'm going up one of those, but no other choice. So I'm gonna try to move swiftly, not catch any of this storm. Well, if there was ever a day where luck was on my side, it appears today is that day.
Despite all my worrying, my luck turned for the better, as that storm dissipated and I only caught some light rain to close out the day. My final day was another long one. I started by continuing the traverse from yesterday with rolling elevation. I then took a quick refuel break before climbing up and over my final high mountain pass of the week. I would then finish the day with a huge descent down to the unofficial ending point of the Alta Via 1, the La Pisa bus stop. This is common for most trekkers because continuing any further requires Via Ferrata gear, which I didn't have on me. In total for my final day, I'd cover about 22.5 miles and about 5,700 feet of elevation gain.
All right, leaving Cresciato here. Another really solid experience. Got there late last night, straight to dinner. Not really a whole lot of time to socialize and meet people, but still met some really cool people. And I finished the Alta Via today. It looks like we're in for a pretty beautiful day. No clouds, no weather to worry about. Where are you guys from?
Australia.
What are you guys doing here?
Hiking from Munich to Venice for our honeymoon.
Oh, it's your honeymoon? I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How fucking epic is that? Right, so this section of the Alta Via 1 is actually quite peaceful, quite different, sort of just navigating through this tight single track through this forest. Still good views everywhere, and it's kind of a nice change of pace. Gonna stop for a quick water refill and maybe like a dessert or a sandwich or something at this refugio right here. And it's on over the last climb of the AV1. About halfway through this climb, this was a false summit. I'm actually going up that way. What a special place. Just finished my last climb of the Alta Via 1. And now the only thing that stands in between me and finishing this thing is a 7,000 foot descent to that town. Starts now.
Having been out of the endurance game for a while, a descent like this was absolutely taking a toll on my legs. Going down the last few thousand feet here, and this place is amazing. I'm gonna miss this. It's beautiful. Thank you for watching and tagging along with me on this adventure. Next up for me was a slower paced week of relaxation in Greece, which I intended to enjoy.